Climate change makes headlines daily, but if current predictions are to be believed, 1/3 of Lower Manhattan would be overrun by a storm surge in 30 years. According to a new study, this could happen if no steps are taken to protect the financial district and point south from rising sea levels and the next inevitable storm. Since 2012's Hurricane Sandy flooded Lower Manhattan and the powerful storms that have followed, Mayor de Blasio wants to be ready. He is proposing building an addition to the Lower Manhattan coastline by 500 feet to fortify and protect it. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at this proposal as part of our Peril and Promise series on the challenge of climate change. Joining me now with details is Annie McDonough from City and State New York. Annie, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So first, let's start off with this program that the mayor presented to New York and to the world last week. Quick synopsis again, what is it that he was proposing?
Sure, so the highlights are really the study that the city released last week, which found that by 2050, 37% of property in Lower Manhattan would be at risk of storm surge, and that by the year 2100, it would be almost half of property in Lower Manhattan. So the clock is really ticking for building up resilience measures in Lower Manhattan, and these have been talked about for a while since Hurricane Sandy. But the real highlight of this plan that the mayor introduced is sort of a bit radical. It's to build out a section of Lower Manhattan around Financial District and South Seaport, about 500 feet of extra land, basically, which is equivalent to 2 small city blocks. And it would be elevated land up to 20 feet at its highest point, which is well above future sea level rise. And ideally, that is what would protect that part of the city from storm surge. And the rest of the measures are a bit more traditional, sort of around the tip of Lower Manhattan, building up flood barriers, retractable gates and things like that.
How is this at least received by environmentalists, scientists, people, engineers who would actually be responsible for putting this into action?
So I think part of the criticism is that process of deciding that this is the only viable option for this part of the city, which is Financial District and South Street Seaport, is that the process hasn't been open. You know, the city has its engineers and climate scientists working on it, but it's not really clear that it is the best program. It's particularly low. It's about 8 feet above the current sea level, which is actually lower than the rest of Lower Manhattan. And there are other sort of barriers, like subway tunnels, sewers, other utilities that make building barriers on top of the existing land difficult. But I mean, as far as climate activists and environmental groups, I think they're welcoming this kind of great big radical action. I think that's what they've been calling for a long time. It's just a matter of whether it will get done.
All right, well, let's of course get down to the dollars, because this isn't just a $10 billion question, this is a multi-billion-dollar project. And the thing that I think caught a lot of people's attention was that the mayor intended to do this with federal dollars. This is an administration that has already pretty much put the brakes on doing a brand new Trans-Hudson tunnel from, the ARC tunnel from New Jersey to New York. So if they can't get the money for the tunnel, why would this administration kick in billions of dollars to rebuild Lower Manhattan?
I think that's what you saw the mayor say. The money has to come from the federal government because Lower Manhattan is such a central business area for the country and the world. But he also said, basically in the next breath, that it's never going to come from President Trump. So it presents sort of a tough situation. If it doesn't come from the federal government, it could come from private development, which is a tough area to be in because that would extend the process and present a lot of community concerns. So there is sort of a hint that he is placing his bets on a change in office in 2020. I mean, he was asked about that quite a lot at his press conference.
I think everybody wants to know what he's going to do for 2020.
Sure. His other sort of option that he floated is even if President Trump wins a second term, if the Senate changed in 2020 and Chuck Schumer, a presumptive leader of the Senate, that could help in securing some federal funds.
Well, so far it's just a plan, but we of course will see how this develops and what actually comes into existence in the next 10, 20 years.
Yes.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for helping us get a better grip on what we might be seeing to help protect New York from the next big hurricane.
Thank you.